Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you for joining me, Jag Singh, for another dosage of Positive Minds on the Sikh channel. Positive Minds is a program on which I like to bring on informative and inspirational people who give us advice and tips on how we can better our lives and those people around us. You may follow me on Twitter at JagSingh_I can for constant inspiration. And also, after the show, you may download my book on Amazon, Unbreakable. Unbreakable is a story, a true story, my story, when I was 8 years old. Story about a young Sikh family growing up surrounded by racism, bullying in school, bullying teachers, and it shows how we got through it. So after the show, download Unbreakable. And now to today's show, I've got a guest with me who's going to be speaking about a topic which is really close to my heart. Norry Ascroft. Norry, thank you so much for joining us today on Positive Minds.
Thanks, Jag, for inviting me on. I have been looking forward to this. I'm so excited to be on your show.
Superb, superb. Now, Norry, please tell me about the informative book that you've released, please. The Truth About Bullying.
Yeah, well, Jag, it fits in with your story, your background, and Unbreakable. And basically, the book gets to the roots of the bullying problem, the human behavior weakness. And straight away, it's a short read because it's meant to go alongside some videos. But the book itself just goes straight into, it reveals the two main truths about bullying that most people don't really realize, but also explains how bullying and other weak human behavior, it's a con trick. The same with, racism and what we've discussed in the past. It all links into weak human behavior. So I get to the foundation, the roots of the problem. And once you know how a con trick is done, you can't be tricked again. So it actually, the book as well explains the what's driving the bullies' behavior. And that's the key, because most of the time the bullies don't realize themselves why they're doing it.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Norry. You're 100% right, because the reason why I wrote my book, Norry, was not because I wanted people to have sympathy that, oh, look, he went through this and, it's such a sad thing. The reason why I wrote my book was because although I suffered immense bullying at school from the teachers and, the skiddeds around the area, I got through it. Okay, and that's the message I want to send through my book, is that you can get through it. I mean, I don't remember at one time in my school seeing an anti-bullying poster. I don't. There was no. It was non-existent. So that's why I wrote my book. What made you want to write this book, Norry?
It's a great point and a great question, Jag, and I love your story, because you're fortunately one of the ones that subconsciously, unknowingly found resilience, found a way of overcoming that horrible human weak behavior, and you came out the other end. Unfortunately, the reason I wrote my book is for the ones that weren't Jag, that weren't strong enough to come through, or educated enough, should I say, to understand the con trick and find a way like you did, because I wrote the book nothing to do with logic. It wasn't that I was bullied in any way, although we've all been bullied a little bit. It was because I'm a parent. This is like 12 years ago. My daughter then, she was only 4 hitting 5 years old, and I just read a news article in the airport. I was flying from Manchester Airport to Chicago to see about some training, and it wasn't on my radar to do bullying or weak behavior like racism and homophobia, etc. Yeah. It was because of a story, Jag. It hit me emotionally. It was a story of a 13-year-old girl who'd taken her own life, died of suicide because of cyberbullying. And it was the third story that I'd read of suicide, and the youngest being 8 years old, that I'd read in the matter of 3 weeks. And it just hit me emotionally. And that was the main driving force, because with the training that I'd already had just on personal development and some of the other training on human behavior, very basic what I call practical psychology, I knew the con trick just off what was available. And I just couldn't believe that there were so many that was happening to that weren't being Jag and being able to overcome it and not then take it into the adult life. And I researched when I came back, and there's some great logical information you can get straight away out there, but they don't go deep enough. I'm just going to be honest, Jag, and that's why I wrote the book. The book is one style of learning. Because it's very quick. You can have it done in an hour to between 60 minutes and 90 minutes probably. But then the other style is obviously visual through videos. But that's why I wrote it. I was passionate as a parent, Jag.
I mean, what kind of interaction have you had with schools? I mean, I know you've been to a few schools, etc. Well, quite a few schools, sorry. What has the interaction and impact been? The response been from the schools, Norry?
On the whole, it's been quite good, but I knew before I went in, and I'm very fortunate that some of the schools who knew me were open and honest. That they're bombarded with trainings, and the truth is, Jag, I went in at first, and it was great. I was doing assemblies and then year groups, and then I was doing small groups of schools. And by the way, I offered this for free. I did this, 10 years ago, and I felt great, Jag. I came out, pat myself on the back, and I go, yeah, I've made a real difference there. But the truth is, Jag, the truth, and I've said this openly, and it's not, I actually say in the book, it's not to knock any of the people who are doing this. One-offs don't last. They don't last. And unfortunately, it's still been worth doing because I know that it's made a direct impact on a few students because they've told me, and teachers, etc. So what I realized was that I actually approached them. I said, look, I need to train the teachers. I need to train you. It's not rocket science. I'm a trainer, qualified with Jack Canfield training. So I said, I will train you this simple formula, if you like, and then you can drip feed it. It's the only way it works. You drip feed into the children. So that's where I started doing it. And I offered it, Jag, again, free of charge. We did a few schools. A few didn't even reply to me. They didn't reply because probably, again, it's not personal. They probably thought there's no such thing as something for free, and some actually said, we haven't got time, we're full up. And that's why I went down that route, and then to train and share it, to actually train up the parents. So that's the only way. That's the only way we're going to make a big difference. I call it very quickly. I call it the magic triangle, and it's actually in the videos. It's not in the book, but it's in the videos. And it's an upside down triangle. If you can imagine, upside down. And in these two corners, the points, we have parents, and then we have school teachers. And what they're doing is they drip feed 2 + 2 is 4 to the child. 2 + 2 is 4. E + R = O.
Yeah,
it's all about
that.
right. And Jag, because and I hope I say this with a smile on my face. I've seen a lot of programs, and they are great. They're really good programs. But the unfortunate thing is, results and outcomes don't lie, Jag. The problem is getting worse. And we know this from other things, not just bullying, online cyberbullying, the grooming of sex, grooming of drugs. That's a big one, of county lines. All these knife crime, all these things statistically are actually getting worse because it's not logic. It's not logic. You can't just do it once. It's like me, Jag, saying, right, Jag, come on, let's go to the gym. And I need to go to the gym. Trust me, after lockdown. And I go to the gym with you for one day. We come out and we go, yeah, Jag, God, we put a massive effort in there. And then we don't go again. We know this.
Good way of putting it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, good way of putting it.
So this is part of the master plan. The book, the videos, the trainings for teachers. It's all about actually making a bit of making some ripples, so that we can actually make them ripples into a kind of movement, if you like, to force the schools and parents to actually learn this. Instead of relying on others, because a lot of people think, well, it's somebody else's problem. We all say this about, including racism, what you went through. I'm a big believer that the same information I use for bullying can be used for that. But we have to train, we have to educate, and it can't be one-offs. It has to be drip-fed daily. And it's easily done, by the way. We just use examples. Your story, the Unbreakable, your story is, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your show. I got really excited, and my hair's gone up when we chatted the other night, and I looked more into it with the book, is that your story should be used in the schools as an example to others, for them to go, I can overcome it. You know what? I'm not the only person that go through this. And then with the work I do, the very simple bits of it, once you know it, they can add it on. It's an add-on to Jag's story. Hey, did you see how those Skinners did this? They were weak, blah, blah. And you see the bullying and all these things, all these behaviors, you strip it down. And then that example tells Norry, little Norry in primary school, actually, there's always going to be some weak human beings around, even, but I'm going to be ready for it. I'm going to be ready to understand the contrick, because that's the first part. Understand it, then you can make a better response instead of reacting.
Yeah, excellent, superb, Norry. That is put so perfectly. Just a few things you've said there just hit me big time. Going to the gym once, yeah, I love that. That's an excellent way of putting it. I mean, speaking to children in assembly every 6 months, don't cut it, okay? Because children, you're 100% right. Because children, I found that most of the children that used to bully me, they had their own problems going on at home. And coming to school, this is what happened to me. I could tell that the way they spoke to their parents, the parents dropped them off, blah, blah, blah. There's issues going on. So they go to school now, and there's little old Jag there, and obviously, I'm the only Indian boy in the whole school. They're going to take the anger out on me. So sometimes bullies can be relaying anger that's built up inside them, And so the point I'm trying to make is that, yes, it should be constant. Yeah, constantly this should be at school, because you may have a child who's perfectly okay in school, and then something might happen at home or something might happen in life, and they go to school, and obviously they find that they're prey to pick on and bully. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so it should be constant. Yes, I want your schools and teachers out there watching to the program right now. You're watching Positive Minds with me, Jag Singh, and I've got Norry Ascroft with me, speaking about his amazing book. Okay, so yes, download it. Very informative. It's available right now, and we'll speak a little while how you can get your free copy from Norry. The other thing you said, Norry, which got me, was as well, when you was at that airport, and you got to a point where you was, let's say, sick and tired of hearing about what the effect bullying was having on children. Now, to me, when my boy Josh was born almost 17 years ago, I picked this baby up and I said, I'm going to do everything I can in my power for him not to be bullied. And he's living in a different world. He's coming at a different time where we've got equality acts. We've got, fairness, people actually talking, people actually doing seminars in school about bullying. And that made me think that I need to write this book. And that's when I first wrote my first words off the book, when he was actually born, the day he was born. That was a moment to me, and I didn't ignore it. You had a moment in that airport. Now, if you wanted to, you could have done nothing about it. You could have just gone, oh, okay, yeah, it's happening out in the world. But you know what? I salute you, because you not only did something, you're continuing. And you keep going forward. And I can tell by your passion that you're not going to stop, are you, Norry?
No, Jag, I am not going to stop. When I explained about this, because it's very simple. We use this formula. It's by a psychologist, but my mentor, one of the people that trained me, Jack Canfield in America, they use a formula called E plus R equals O. And what that means is E is the event. Okay, the event is fixed. It's just an event. It's a life event that's out of your control most of the time. And then plus the R is your response, equals the outcome. So the outcome, if you want to change the outcome, a little bit like 2 + 2 is 4. Well, if you want 5 or 6, you have to change your response. You can't change the event, like the weather. Right, I've got a phone here. I can't change the weather. Say, hey, sunshine. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Now you went back to your boy, because your son, is it Josh? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So Josh is actually around about the same age as my daughter, Melissa. And you're right. And the thing is, if we rely on the outside world, as in anybody, schools, councils, government, the skinheads, the racists, the bullies, if we rely on them to keep Josh and Melissa, my daughter, safe, we're done. Because we can't control that. So the only way, this is why I explain, is the magic triangle. I tell parents, look, the reason I'm telling you is I've done it. I did this with my daughter. I drip fed all about human behavior. And I still do it to this day, because there's going to be challenges by life, outside events. There's going to be weak people that will try and take advantage or will insult others. The keyboard warriors, the online bullying, since this is a fact by Light organization 2 months ago, they did a survey from last March when the pandemic hit first and the first lockdown. They did a survey of online cyberbullying on social media, and it's increased in just less than 1 year by 70%. And that, by the way, isn't just children, that's adults. So, we take it into adult life now. Again, people think, well, it's a bullying problem. Is it a school problem? Is it a Skinner problem? No, it's called a human problem. Human beings. And again, in the book, I won't, because of time, Jag, but the point is, you did mention before, someone comes to school, they might be having a bad life at home, where they're not being significant, the needs met. So they come to school, and what they do is they steal it. They steal it off Jag. So Norry, the bully, I always role play me as the bully. I come to school, and at home, I'm not getting my needs met, my human emotional needs. Now, my physical needs, we all know about. We learn it in school. Oxygen. We know if we don't get oxygen, we die. So we don't want oxygen. We need it. We need air. Yeah. We need shelter. We need nutrition, water. But the emotional needs are as important, because the needs, they're not wants. Yeah. So if I don't get them in a good way, Jag, I'm going to get them in a bad way. Yeah. So let's just role play. So that your viewers can actually get a live thing of this. So Norry, let's say we're year 10, first year high school for us oldies, and I'm a bit uncertain about this new high school. At home, I don't get any loving connection. What are my human needs? Okay. Because my parents don't give me a loving connection. They don't make me feel significant, important. That means I have uncertainty in life. Yeah. And people don't like uncertainty. I don't feel wanted or loved. But then what happens is I come into school and there's a couple of mates, and the quickest way, the easiest, it takes no qualification, it's simple, and I don't even know myself why I'm doing it. What do? Jag. And I'm just looking at you now, Jag. I don't care if it's glasses. Now, Jag, I would bully you literally over tea and coffee. If you drank tea and I drink coffee, I'm gonna say,
what are you drinking that for?
Yeah, you muppet, you idiot. And of course, they don't use those words, Jag. They use really harmful words, swearing, and they call you all sorts of names. And that's the contrick. Any magician will tell you it's the deflection part. The story is a deflection. The truth is, Norry is stealing off Jag your self-esteem and confidence to get my needs. I need to feel significant. So I've got my boys here, and I feel important now because I'm not getting it at home. And then what happens is I don't get it in class. So and by the way, if you're not there, Jag, I'm going to get it off somebody else. And that's the problem. This is the problem. We're not educated. And the first thing I tell people, you can have all the programs you like. They've been going for years, and I'm going to be tough love. I do it with love, Jag. It's with a smile on my face. They call me the smiling assassin when I do coaching, because I smile with love, but it's a fact. There's organizations been proud to say, Anti-Bullying Week, hey, we're going to stop bullying. They actually say they're going to stop it. And they've said, we're proud to be going 20 years. Just think about that. They say they're going to stop bullying, and then they say, we've been going 20 years. Yeah. So in 20 years, they haven't stopped bullying. One, you can never stop bullying, even if everybody learns it. You can't stop. Unfortunately, you can't stop the racism. There's always going to be people with the grooming of knife crime, grooming of drugs, sexting, etc. So we have to. The only thing we're in control is for your Josh, my Melissa, for our children. Especially the bullying and racism, it's a massive thing with me. I did it with my daughter so much, and again with homophobia, so that she wasn't either. Thank goodness, because I want the only way we're going to get our next generations working together, like Norry and Jag taking on, is to do it ourselves. It's not going. I guarantee. It's not going to be. It isn't going to be the council, the government. It's always groups or individuals that cause the pain barrier and exposes it. And that embarrasses them into doing something, because all the other things have been going for years. And the problem, unfortunately, and it's not that I'm not being negative, because I promise, Jag, I'm the most positive person you'll meet. But the fact is, the outcome, E plus R equals O, the result is getting worse. And we know that this awful racism, you know, that seem to be getting a bit better, is raised its ugly head again and again.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not just saying, it's another reason why I'll be using your story. I told you your story, Unbreakable. I will use that story alongside my information, strip it down, and say, right, come on. And what you do is you kind of paint barrier, embarrass the ones that are going to be racist or bullies. You kind of, in a way, they change themselves, because it's like me shouting at you now. Everybody watching this, Jag, everybody watching knows that 2 + 2 = 4. That is a certainty.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if I
yeah.
start shouting, oi, you muppet, 2 + 2 is 8. What are you laughing at? 2 + 2 is 8. Oh,
Yeah.
you 2 + 2, and I'm giving this thug 2 + 2, and I'm getting really, 2 + 2 is 8. You don't get angry or upset because you know
Yeah.
the truth, and
Yeah,
that's what we have to get to.
Excellent. Norrie, listen, the producers are telling me I've only got 5 minutes left, and do you know what? I could sit here, I could continue listening to you forever and ever. I just bring up a few points of what you've said there. First of all, viewers out there, listeners out there, if you are that child, or you know that child who is obviously having issues, or if you're sitting there thinking, you know, I'm going to school, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling sad, I've got some issues going on at home, I'm going to tell everyone out there, since the 70s to now, things have improved in this country. Okay, we haven't got there, we're getting there, and Norrie would agree, we're getting there, but now we have school counsellors, we have teachers, we have the NSPCC, we have the anti-bullying out there. We have so many organisations, more than I did during my time, that if you or you know a child who's going through a tough time, get in contact with them. These guys are experts. And you know, also Norrie, how can people get your book, The Truth About Bullying? How can people grab it?
Well, the quickest way is to get a free download. They can get the paperback version. They can get on Amazon. Just go onto
That's free, yeah?
amazon.co.uk. Yeah, go onto Amazon, paperback. No, the paperback you pay for, because obviously they have to print it, but you can download it free. You can get the free download completely free from my website, which is Youth Potential. youthpotential.mykajabi.com. It's on Facebook if you're on Facebook, Youth Potential, or Twitter, Youth Potential. Find us. The links are there, and it's a free. I'm giving away 50,000 free copies. Jag, between you and I, I want to be on a show with you at the end of this year saying, Jag, I'd give it to every parent. I want every parent to at least have it for free, and then look at learning through the videos as well.
Superb, superb. Norrie, listen, thank you very much. There you guys, you've heard it there. You can go to Norrie's website, you can download the book for free. It's there. It's not going to cost you a penny. It's free, okay? So download it, read it, and spread the word out to everybody. Listen, Norrie, thank you so much for coming on Positive Minds today. And I'm telling you something now. I want you to come on again and again as many times as possible, because we need to get the good message out there. Thank you so much for coming on today, Norrie. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Jag. I really appreciate it, and I want to come on more because I want to help you in your mission as well. I guarantee you're going to have a massive breakthrough with this. It's going to be fantastic, especially with the racism and bullying. Well done. Keep positive, winners.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So there you have it, guys, on Positive Minds. Norry Ascroft saying out there, my message to every kid out there who's suffering from bullying, or if you know someone who's suffering from bullying, do not suffer in silence. Help is out there. Reach out. Help is out there. Get Norry's book. Until next time, guys, please keep safe and keep smiling. Waiguru Chika Khalsa, Waiguru Chiki Fateh.